Okay, good afternoon, Baltimore City, good afternoon. If I can have some of you slide over closer to the camera as we start. This is ZeBay behind the scenes, 311th episode. That's it. Right. So we're going to just face that here. Yeah. So we can get everyone a little closer in our viewing camera. Okay. And let's go here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's probably the clean lady.
And we're talking about housing, so there we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay.
It's like you cut off more of the little teeny bit. I can see you.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
You see? You need a joint.
You said remove it?
Remove it.
No.
And
I got some more coming. Yo went to Puerto Rico. She bringing me back a lot. She got a lot of bottles of rum for me.
To dislocate to this place.
Turn away, you get Mike that chair you play that. Oh, Mike. You got the chair.
I'm good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
think he gonna back away when that one starts.
What's that?
Being on your family.
Yeah, I'll make a deal for you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. You don't film for a call, you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's see if we can pick up a frequency here. All right. Sometimes Facebook likes to give us the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. Good morning, Baltimore City. Good morning to the DMV. Good morning, US of A. And this morning, this is a special edition, episode 311 of ZeBay Behind the Scenes. And we're podcasting live here from Maryland Avenue and North Avenue here in Baltimore City. And you know, this special edition is due to one of our community activists here by the name of Sharon Johnson. Miss Johnson, thank you for giving us an inbox message a few days ago, last week, and actually calling on me to look into and investigate what's going on with properties here in Baltimore City. You know, I put it out there a couple of months ago because I found out a trend was taking place here in Baltimore City. And I kind of put it out there to Mayor Pugh and to the Department of Housing. What is really going on here? How are you guys moving here in your city? Because where we have been advocating and we have walked the streets and we have worked with nonprofit organizations, grassroots organizations, and leaders such as Minister Christina Flowers, the Real Care Service providers, and several other individuals here, even on the legislative side, working with Senator Barbara Robinson. And then, we at ZeBay, when 3 years ago, I actually approached this mayor and put together a referendum and even a outline to plan the first ever 2-day working summit on ending homelessness here in Baltimore City. And we looked at that as if, well, look, someone in America has to start this. Someone in America has to say enough is enough in terms of homelessness here in our great country of United States of America. If you go to the continent of China, you will find no homelessness. And they have over 7 billion people that occupy that land. But it's unheard of because it's a disgrace to even entertain the notion of someone becoming homelessness in China. So what are we doing actually here in the United States of America? Instead, she took my outline. The very first person that I had listed to be part of the 2-day working summit was President Trump's appointed Secretary of HUD, Ben Carson. Because I said, well, we need to first bring the money in here, because after thorough investigation and research, I found out just by even going to some of the estimate budget hearings that in 2018 and 2016, HUD cut Baltimore, Maryland's budget by $30 million. Why? Because Baltimore City didn't use the funding. They didn't use the funding, and a lot of the funding they could not account for. Okay? So it is very, very clear to me after doing some investigative work, actually doing some research here in Baltimore City, and just taking a look at how the government and various entities of this city are ran, that it's very clear that they cannot handle money here in this city. Now, call it, for many, many people behind the scenes have told me, look, you have a corrupt government that runs this city. It's the status quo. And nothing's going to change unless the people say enough is enough. It all depends on all of you. You guys have taken the first stand this morning to come together as a whole and unite, to fight for your rights to fair housing, to quality living, to affordable and reasonable rent. Okay. Now, after doing some further research, I found out that Maryland and Baltimore City has no rent control. Well, House Bill 215, that was actually, there was 6 legislators that actually drew up this bill. And it went before the floor and it failed. Okay, it didn't pass. February of 2013. Now, did they just let that bill die in the House? Or is someone still fighting for all of your rights here in Baltimore City? That's my question. That's my question to this mayor. That's my question to the legislative branch in Annapolis. That's my question to the city council members. Look, this is election season. This is election season. Your votes matter. And I'm going to tell you, the first line of defense to all of this is you guys have got to get out and vote. You have got to get out and vote. And you can no longer continue keeping the same status quo individuals in power. You just cannot. You can't do it. Because guess what? Nothing will change in this city. The rich will keep getting richer and they're silent. It's a closed society. Believe what I'm telling you. There is a closed society that's so deeply rooted here in Baltimore City till there's no equality. There is enslavement still. There's invisible segregation through districting. And all of that is it's not going to change until you guys stand up and vote. So I applaud you. I'm so proud of all of you, all 6 of you, that decided to take a stand. Now, I want you, Sharon, to tell us a little bit about when is the first time, and my brother Antonio, I want you two to be the speakers, and I'm going to give each one of you an opportunity to voice your concerns, your opinions, and what you would like to see take place. First of all, tell me the name of this building. What's the name of this community?
The Midtown community, and we're at 1900 the Royalton building, and we're part of the recollection of the renewal in this area.
North Avenue
You have
and
North
Maryland.
Avenue, Maryland Avenue, Charles, St. Paul. You got State Center. They all trying to, buy properties and rebuild at a higher cost.
Right.
And the thing about it, with so-called we categorize as poor people, they want to get us out of this area so they can revitalize and then put a higher profit margin on it.
Right.
And with the company that bought our building, they're doing that, but we're not gonna let them just push us out any old kind of way.
Okay. So let me ask you something, Sharon. You were giving me the semantics of this, and when did these new property owners, and according to this, is this let me see. According to this, is this the new lease?
No,
Okay.
here's the
According
new
to
property
this,
owner in this area.
it's Mount Washington Group.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a representative at one of the estimate board hearings last year from this group. So I know what you're saying is correct. You definitely have the right interpretation of what they're attempting to do here in the North Avenue sector of this city. But we're gonna, guess what? We're gonna fight this. If we have to go across all network print media, I'm going to help you fight this, because why? I spent 4 years in Washington, D.C. taking HUD to court. And I took HUD to court for 22 of us displaced disaster victims that lost our homes due to a natural and man-made flood disaster that took place where all the raw sewage from Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. overflowed into houses during a bad rain and a storm. And it was August the 11th, 1 month before September the 11th of 2001. And I fought because President Bush at the time did something very awesome and unique. What he did is he got together with his Secretary of HUD, and they signed a memorandum of agreement to place displaced individuals in foreclosure homes, but also giving them the right to purchase those foreclosure homes. FEMA actually paid the rent while they were trying to make the repairs on our properties, okay? But some of us, our properties were classified as condemned. Why? Because due to black mold and gas escaping in the house, so gas poisoning, okay? So I fought, and that made a difference in the Katrina situation some years later, because they tried to actually push us out of the foreclosure homes, took away our right of first purchase and our right of refusal, okay, and auctioned the property. Now we're going to do further investigation of this building called Rolling
The royalty.
the Royalton, okay?
Yeah.
Because first of all, when who owned this property prior to that?
City Homes.
City Homes, okay? So part of the city's initiative. And under that initiative, folks, they had an addendum to the lease,
Exactly.
okay? And it was under the home program. I'm showing you the paperwork this morning.
I got it.
Under that home program, it states that the individuals to occupy this particular building, their annual income had to meet a certain threshold,
Standards.
Yeah.
and according to their agreement and their addendum, the owner had to also enter into an agreement. It wasn't just the tenants, people.
Mhm.
With the Home Investments Partnership Program. So this is a city-run program, City
Yes.
of Baltimore. Okay? The rental units in which the tenants were to occupy is a home assistant unit. What does that mean? Well, guess what, folks? Whether Baltimore or Maryland, I'm here to tell you, since I fought her, whether Baltimore or Maryland has no rent control, they are still binded by this
There's
agreement.
contract, right.
Because guess what, people? You can't sell this property, first of all, without the owner meeting the guidelines and standards of this particular city program. Now, if the city, when I go to interview an official like David Beaverman, who now is the director of housing,
Yes.
Breverman.
Breverman, yes.
When I go to interview him today, the question I'm going to put
And
to
mind
him.
you, he has not got in contact back with me. And I
Okay, well,
twice.
I'll talk to him because we've spoken before. So when I speak with him, my main question, so get ready, David, because my question to you is going to be, are you going to allow an owner that has signed a written agreement that is actually protecting the tenants of your city-run program and the housing program to get away with, first of all, selling the property without the first right of refusal or the first right for them to come together as a co-op and purchase the property? That's number one. That's number one. Because really they could have had an opportunity to come together and actually purchase this building. Because this was a building that was owned by by an owner that went into a contract agreement with the city of Baltimore. Look, I'm gonna be on this like rye on rice, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna be on this. Because I'm seeing a trend taking place here in Baltimore City. My daughter owned a property that we actually got out of foreclosure in 2013 when we came here. We spent $60,000 in that property. And while my daughter, which the lender knew, and the bank knew, when the bank bought the paper note from the lender, knew that my daughter now was the owner, was in Canada. And so she was never notified that the note had been sold, that they were putting it in foreclosure, and we had invested a lot of money in that property.
Go by your income. That's why they ask you for your pay stubs.
Right.
They don't say just, oh, you pay this and you pay that. Everybody pay the same. Where do they do that?
How can a person with a one bedroomer pay the same as a person with two bedrooms?
Right.
Okay.
But no, but it's not even about that. The bottom line is this.
But these are don't say it's not just about that,
No.
because this is
It is about
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
mainly no.
Right.
It's not about that.
Okay,
It's
go ahead.
mainly about what you bring in. That's mainly about.
Right,
It's
right.
not about what kind of unit you got. It's about how you make your money. You
Right.
can't sit there and charge somebody who's making who's making around about $400-500 a week, as opposed to somebody who's making probably around about $100 or $200 a week.
Right.
You can't charge them the same thing.
Right.
Are you out of your mind?
Right.
Where do they do that?
So look, I'm gonna ask you, because you're very articulate about, and I feel your anger about it.
I'm
I feel
pissed.
We
your-
have to
I
keep
feel
him
your
calm.
anger. Right.
I'm
feel your
pissed because I
anger.
can't believe.
Keep him calm.
You know what?
I can't believe I'm not on. I don't get any kind of assistance or anything like
Okay.
that.
He wanted to work.
I work for mine.
Right.
So be that saying, that's why I feel very, very passionate, because I go out here every single day and bust my behind at a job that I do not like,
Right.
only to come home to prostitutes and drug addicts in front of my building. And nobody's doing nothing about it, only for me to sit there and go to do regular errands, and I gotta see a building that got art all over it
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
that I don't want.
Okay.
So nobody's doing anything about it.
It's-
I can't even open up my door. I'm on the third floor. I gotta go all the way down and open up my door. Really? That's what I'm paying for? And you think you want to keep on ballooning my rent? Are you out of your mind?
Right. Right. So look, let me ask you something, Antonio. Antonio, You've been in the occupant. You've been a tenant for how many years now here?
I got here in June 2015.
Okay, so going on, but for 3 years
Yes.
now. Okay, we're going into our fourth year, because in June, according to your
Yes.
lease.
Yeah.
Okay, how much were you paying originally? You
I
were
started off paying $550.
$550, and once they bought the bid, did your rent go up any during that time?
No.
Okay, rent didn't go, stayed the same
No, stayed the
until
same.
they
When we
sold
was
the
with
building
City
in
Homes
17.
Realty, they went by the guidelines and they stayed the same.
It
Right.
stayed the same.
Okay.
Yeah, sure did.
And so
They
with
never
on
went up, they
once
stayed
the
the
building
same.
was
Sold
sold,
to Mount Washington Group.
yeah, to Monument,
Mount
Mount
Washington.
Washington. How long after they
2 months.
purchased? 2 months.
2 months.
And had any renovations taken
No.
place in the
No.
home?
No.
Any?
No,
Okay, nothing had been done, but they
No.
went up on the rent
yes.
by how much?
100%.
It went up to six. Everybody had to pay $625. So that means some people went up $200. I went up $75. Some people went up just ballooned it just like
Okay.
that.
So now after September, so we're talking about December. They increased the
So
rent
then
without doing any upgrades or
No.
anything.
nothing.
No.
Okay.
Then in January they came back and said, okay.
January.
I mean no. When
February.
in
February.
February, we got that in
We got it in
April.
January.
They said if you want to do 625, so come in April.
So
to
I
sign
see
your new
here
lease, to
monthly
sign your new
installments
lease.
of $625.
Yeah, to sign your lease in April. So once we signed that lease in April, we came right back to now, which is 7 months. 7 months later, saying that they want us to pay $950,
Okay, no.
which will include
Yeah.
water. We're not supposed to pay for water
Okay,
in the summer.
And we have to
No.
pay for water.
Water.
No.
And then my
Yeah.
other thing too is,
Wow.
you may want to take City Homes' name off all this stuff, because this is a lead controlled building. This is a lead paint property building. So it was built on lead paint. So you might want to redo this
That
license right here.
outside because it's
This license right here. You
It's
should have
on the
redid
wall.
See
that.
that?
You should have
That's on the
redid
wall
that.
outside.
You should have redid that before you bought the building. You should have
Yeah.
took their name off of that before you bought the building. I want to discuss that as well.
Okay.
I want to discuss
So
that as
Sharon,
well.
tell us, you know, you've been the
Ridiculous.
advocate in this because you
Ridiculous.
gave me a call last week. And tell us your history and your background, and because I know latter last year you came and you wanted to move. So was this one of the reasons that you felt like you wanted to move? I know you have been on the list. I want to hear all of that because I need our viewing audience to understand why there's a housing epidemic and why there's a homeless epidemic here in Baltimore City. So you have been on a waiting list for one of the new properties, yes?
Yeah,
Okay, so go ahead. The one on Greenmont?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I had went up there, my time was up with the application, so me and my hubby went up there, and we didn't make enough money. So with both our income, they said that it wasn't enough.
But yet you were on the housing
The housing,
list.
Right.
To where, you know, once they called your name,
Right.
then that means an apartment was available for you guys. So didn't they qualify you during the list process before your name was put on the list? Because that's normal procedure.
right, we filled out the application,
Uh-huh.
and we was on the waiting list. So when the time come up again, we went up there to see what was taking so long. So, okay, so I went back again, and they looked up our income up, and they said we didn't make enough. With his money and my money, we couldn't get a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's been going everywhere.
But yeah,
But
Wait a minute, hold
it's
it.
supposed to be housing.
Hold it. This is under
Affordable.
housing.
Right.
Affordable housing.
program, right? Okay, so just give us a roundabout. Combined income.
Okay, let's say it's like
18, 20, 25,
1,800.
18,000 a year. 18,000 a year. Okay. So
820.
in other words, they said, but they let you did the application in order for them to put you on the list.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So
Yeah.
look, and then what happened the second time you went, you were still living here, correct?
Right.
Yes?
Still living
How
here,
long have
still
you been have y'all been living here? How many years?
7.
7 years. Okay. So you were already paying how much a
We
month?
started off paying
$450.
$450.
Okay, $450.
And it went up to 505.
Okay, went up to 5. How many years between that?
Every year it went up a few dollars.
Of just a few dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once it was sold last year,
Then it went up
Oh,
to
God,
625.
Five.
620.
Over
But yet
100.
y'all don't make enough money to qualify for low income housing, in which they took the application and actually put you on the list for the apartment. Okay? So that makes no sense to me, first of all.
No.
See, and then tell
And
us.
then when they said 625, here we go again. They raising it up again for it's
It
like
went off.
$300
The phone went
more.
off.
And
Okay,
that's
that's
how
it.
big our apartments is. This room right here. We got one little room, a box. Now how you gonna give us make us pay $950
Yeah, their apartment is small. It is very small.
and you can't even hardly put furniture in it? Mike did a good job when we first moved in because he was saying, how can we live like this? Where we gonna put everything? But he did a good job.
Mhm.
So now they talking about $950. Where we gonna
$950
get
for a box?
$950?
And you have
And
a
then you
one
still
bedroom,
got
or
One
One
billion,
two
a
gas,
small
electric.
sardine box.
Now they gonna charge us water bill.
Now
Yeah.
there's one charge is water bill because they put washing machines in here
That's not
in the
right.
park.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna step out there on the limb today, okay? Because I've heard quite a bit. I'm gonna step out on it now, and I'm gonna say that we're gonna do a press conference on Thursday,
Yes,
and we're gonna call in Fox 45,
put Mount
And
Washington
and we're
on
gonna do
blast.
we're
That's
gonna
what I
do
want.
a press conference.
I'm waiting.
And wait a minute, what would you like to say? Because I'm gonna upload that.
What I did, I went to rent court.
Okay, so you went to
Rent court
landlord
wrote me
tenant.
a referral, sent me to legal aid.
Okay.
Legal aid went through my papers over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
They said something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't right. So
Mm-hmm.
they said, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take your case, we're gonna investigate.
Good.
They
Good.
said
So now,
that
when
because
did they take your?
Yes,
yesterday.
Okay, great,
Yesterday.
great.
They put the page that she was referring to.
right.
Okay, great.
Because we're in the program.
That's right.
And
Okay.
I have an appointment on Friday with the Community Law Center.
Okay.
That's on Kiswick Road. Yeah, because when I was telling them about the information, and actually they got it from Commissioner Braverman.
Braverman.
Uh-huh.
They got.
She's
they-
going to
they
speak to
heard my,
him herself, right?
They heard my thing on there, and they called me. So they were curious. They were curious about what
Because
I
they got
said.
so many phone calls
So
from us.
no, I don't know about that. They probably did, but I have to go to them on Friday, meet with them on Friday because they are very, very interested in what's going on here. And I talked about the licensing and all that stuff, and because these are
That's all
attorneys.
the stuff we can
These
put
are
on
attorneys,
and
so
use.
they
Yeah.
so they're talking about. Okay, wait a minute. First thing where they wrong at, they ain't reading their license.
Right.
They gotta take.
So they don't
That's what I
have a
said the other
rental
day.
license.
They
I
gotta-
said that's
they gotta take-
that
they got-
license has
They gotta
expired.
take. They gotta take city homes off this license.
Yes.
They can't sit there and rent this stuff off. Matter of fact, they're not supposed to be renting us at all.
Right.
No,
not at all.
because
Because
they're
they're not
not
licensed to rent.
licensed.
They're not
They
licensed.
they really not supposed to be renting. us.
They're illegally renting
Exactly.
property.
So
Okay,
so
say
and
it for what
so I
it is.
asked them. I want my money back.
We're supposed to get our money
Right.
So
back.
no
that's
question.
where I'm
That's
going to be
one
done
thing
at
we
because
need
I
to do.
want
We
my
want
money
our money
back.
back.
I
Right.
wanted to go back to where it was.
And go back to the
And I
original
want my
rate.
money back.
Yeah,
I
man.
want what I paid you. I want my money back.
Give
It's
it
simple as
back.
that. So I know for a fact after I meet with these people, they're not going to want this building. They're not going to want it because it's going to be way too much trouble than what's actually worth.
Actually, yes.
So look, I can tell you now that y'all have a case. Okay,
Have
I'm
a
ready
big
to tell
case.
you a big.
Yeah, they told me-
y'all have
they
a
told
big.
me,
Y'all
yeah.
have a big case.
But they told me that
okay?
we all have to go.
All
We all
gotta
have
go.
everybody.
We all got to
together.
go.
Right.
We
Remember
all
what
got
I
to go
told
up
you
there.
last week?
All of us got to
you,
go up there.
Right. All of you got to go up there.
All of us got to go up there.
I'm gonna have to
So they
represent
can
them because I have
without
an appointment on
leases.
Friday. Yeah.
Without
The
leases and
lawyers
stuff.
told me
Go-
something's
where
not
we
right.
going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are attorneys.
Right.
They're attorneys.
You got to get them all that information so all of
So
everybody can go.
everybody got to go. up
Okay.
there.
Okay,
So-
so when you going?
I'm
Okay.
going to go. I told him I was going to go.
Well,
on
look.
All y'all
let,
go
let
at the
me
same
advise.
time.
Let me advise y'all about something.
We got.
I shared with you. I shared with you all that I had HUD in court for 4 years. They actually subpoenaed the chairman of First Preston, which was HUD's primary property management of over $250,000 of their foreclosure
I need to
homes.
call them too.
And what they ended up doing, they ended up terminating the contract with First Preston because we set precedents, even taking HUD to court. Okay. And so you guys have a case. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not sick, if you have a doctor's appointment or something that could be rescheduled, y'all need to reschedule it because all of you
Absolutely.
need to go
Mhm.
together.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Nobody
That's what they
needs to
said.
be
We need to go
representing
together.
nobody.
That's what she
Everyone
said.
We gotta
needs to be
stand
going
together on
together
That's what she
because
said.
there's power in numbers.
In numbers.
Okay,
Amen.
there's power in
Amen.
That's what she
numbers.
said. She said
And what were you about to say? You've been here at Rennie for how long? And
I've been
you're
here for
disabled,
about,
yes?
I want to say 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in that 3 or 4 years, I just don't understand the increase that they have made. I just don't understand it. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. City homes wasn't even like this.
at all.
When I first came, I was paying $500.
Mm-hmm.
In that 2 years, I was still paying $500.
Right. Right. And
And
then
then
because
after-
y'all are under a housing program.
Yeah.
See, that's
Absolutely.
what, and they have certain guidelines that pertains to not just the tenant, but especially the owner, the landlord.
That's what
Okay.
the lawyer's trying to find
Right.
out. We still under that guideline.
Okay, you know what? Let me say something about that. This is one case, people. Mayor Pugh, I hope you're listening or have one of your people listening today, as
Yeah.
usual. But this is one case that nobody's going to get away with because there's new ownership. That this voids. I'm putting it out there to give fair warning. This will not void this contract with the city, with the Baltimore City Housing. Okay, you guys get funded through HUD, through the federal government, to house people, your people here in Baltimore City. Okay, and I don't care. First of all, the property should never have been auctioned off without first, in writing, notifying each and every tenant about the house was being auctioned.
That's
See,
right.
let me tell you something.
That's right.
First of all, the owners, the other owners, that lets me know the other owners, something went awry
That's how
in
it
terms of either the payment on the building, the water or sewage, or something, the property taxes, or something went awry with the other owners in order for, in the first place, it to be auctioned. Because normally, if an owner is selling a property, they're just going to get a realtor to sell the property.
No.
They don't need to auction it, okay? It's just investment property up for sale, okay? So make no mistake about it. This contract is still binding because a lot of things did not happen that went out of order even during the auction process, even during the exchanging of ownership. Okay. First of all, when there was going to be a change of ownership, each one of these tenants should have been notified by the attorneys handling that foreclosure or handling that situation with the previous owner and giving these individuals their first right of refusal and or a relocation contract order where they were offered money to relocate so they would not become displaced.
That's right.
Hear
That's what
me,
they
Mayor
supposed
Pugh.
to do.
Hear me, Mayor Pugh. Hear me, David Braverman. Okay? You got, look, David Braverman, I had a lot of respect for you when I met you when you were intermediate director for the Department of Housing. But you need to get on top of what's going on here in your city when it comes to the housing programs. Because Century 21 Homestead is trying to take properties where the owners are out of the country or out of state without giving them notice that their properties are up for foreclosure. They're going directly to the banks and getting the properties. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you something. I'm still coming after them to sue them for the maximum cap of $25,000 for taking away me and my husband's first right to purchase my daughter, not his daughter, but my daughter's property that we invested $60,000 in over the past 3 years. Okay, and I still have all my receipts. So you guys are creating a precedence here that is going to create more homeless people. That's because people that are on fixed incomes that are actually in your programs here in Baltimore City, y'all must protect them. You must go by your own guidelines, and you cannot auction property and then the new owner is even notified right when they win the bid. You realize this is a housing program property for low income. So they were aware of the property they were buying in the first place. Right now, they're illegally, I'm going to put it out there, Mayor Pugh and Director David Braverman. Oh, you're brave. Braverman. That they're illegally renting to these tenants. They've increased their rent by almost 100% over the past 7 months. 7 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, they've increased, and now they're threatening to increase the rent according to this letter here.
$9.50.
They're being so greedy where they're talking about increasing the rent to $950 a month.
And to pay for water.
And to pay for waters. I don't think so. That's not going to happen. So, you guys are supposed to see.
With no upgrading, mind you.
No upgrading.
First of all, they can't do it. This contract is still standing.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you why the contract is still standing. No, I'm going to tell you why the contract is still standing. Because they don't have a legal permit to even rent. So this contract is still valid, period. Until they go get the necessary licenses to be able to rent and to get this transferred over into their names for new ownership, then they are working outside of the guidelines of the Baltimore City housing program, investment program. So you guys are investing. You guys that are the overseer of this program, David Braverman, you need to get on top of this, because this is we're going to be holding a press conference. And yes, I will be down to your office between today and tomorrow to interview you. So don't lock me out. Okay, because this is now an investigative story. And so, anyone else have something to say? What I didn't hear from this young lady. What is your name? And tell us, how long have you been a tenant here?
My name's Yvonne Barrett, and I've been here for 10 years.
10 years, people. 10 years. So you're the longest tenant. So was this
somebody else was the longest tenant, and they forced her out. They forced her to move. She was on Section 8.
She was on Section 8, and Section 8 said with the increase, they wasn't going to pay for her to be in a 2-bedroom apartment
because she was by herself.
Only because they illegally increased it to what they wasn't going to pay, and they shouldn't have. She wasn't able to move.
They forced her out, and she was here for 20 years.
Wow. Okay, Baltimore City.
They forced her out.
Okay, Baltimore City, we got this. Look, this is only the beginning. This will be one fight they will not win. Trust them and believe that. This will be one fight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharon Johnson, for getting in touch with me to investigate this story. Thank you all for coming together. How many more tenants is still left in the building?
It's about
two young girls.
Two more.
There's 3 more, actually.
They at work.
They at work,
Okay,
they had
3
to school. They at work.
Okay, so you have a total of 9 people that are still in this building, and this building has 18 units?
Yeah.
18 units. 15 units. 15 units in this building, people. So we're gonna fight for you. We're gonna fight for you. We're gonna make sure that your voices are heard.
It's 18 units.
That your voices are heard, and you guys need to come together today. And you already have an appointment. All of you need to be going with him to see these attorneys.
Yeah.
Okay, all of you. Any one of you drive?
No.
Nobody.
Okay, so how close is the
It's
lawyers?
on Kinswick Road. I gotta Google all that
We
stuff.
got-
Okay.
Kinswick Road.
Um,
The zip code is 21211.
Okay, so let's figure out. Sharon can be the middle person in this, the liaison. Okay, and because I want you guys to keep me up to date.
Yeah, because I'll be at work. Because I was getting ready to say something to y'all, to one of y'all, to actually really
So,
get on top of this. Because I'll be at work to make appointments. and all
So
that stuff, and just
we
let me know.
are.
Okay.
Just make sure it's before.
And I don't know why my face is like that. So look, we're going to end this segment of ZeBay Behind the Scenes, episode 311 today. And the question is this: I'm putting out there as producer and host is, what is happening here in Baltimore? The epidemic continues when it comes to low and fair housing here in Baltimore City. And we want to find a way to ignite, to rejuvenate, to resurrect that House Bill 315 for rental control here in Baltimore City, because I see what's going on. They need rental control, that bill passed, and they need just cause to break a lease or to move someone out of their home. Look, Baltimore has over 3,000 homeless people, and winter is here almost. And when we start seeing people dying in the streets of our city, then everyone needs to be concerned. Because remember, I'm in the financial world, and every last one of you that are not financially free are 1 or 2 paychecks away from becoming homeless. You guys be a blessing in someone's lives. When you see that there's something wrong, that's not right going on here in our city, because Baltimore City will become a great city. It will become a great city, because I'm running for mayor, and in 2020 I need your vote, because if I get your vote, we all will win. Some changes must take place from the status quo here in Baltimore City. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Routine.
Yeah. This is,
And then asked him
this
for
way he
a.
going at.
Okay. All right, good. I got
And then asked him. The third thing is to ask him, what's that about the relocation fee?
Wait a minute.